Hello everybody, I am recording a TikTok with the biggest zit that I have ever seen because I am so stressed out. The zit is so big that it deserves its own name. I'm stressed out because it's hard to juggle my schedule with work and parenting and my duties as a resident of Vancouver. Have you heard about the downtown east side Oppenheimer district rezoning proposal by Vancouver? It is being voted on tonight in a few hours. 350 something speakers showed up in person and on phone. I was one of them. I just spoke. To understand the problem better, you could go to the Carnegie Housing Project website. They have done an incredible job with collecting all of the data and summarizing what's happening and pointing out what's wrong. There is also the YouTube stream that you could watch with the speakers that have delivered their personal experiences and expertise. Let me tell you, the city did not make it easier to understand the proposal. This is not my area of expertise, so I went in and I was like, I don't know if I agree with this or not, and I had to do my research, right? Because letting developers build up to 32-story rental towers in the downtown east side Oppenheimer district sounded like a great idea. More housing downtown, right? But then I had to look closer, and it looked like only 20% of those would need to be social housing in these areas, and only 20% of the social housing would need to rent to people on social assistance across the downtown east side. And that is different from what is currently in place. The current zoning protection keeps out speculative condos. It requires new rental buildings to be at least 60% social housing, and it requires social housing to rent 33% of units to people on social assistance across the downtown east side. And this new zoning, basically, it means the existing buildings and owners will be incentivized to evict residents, and the SROs are already poorly maintained and not very well funded. So they would be incentivized to just evict residents and bulldoze it all and introduce developers and build new things, and the new things will not be for the people of downtown east side. This is like drastically shifting who downtown east side is supposed to be for. It is trying to displace the downtown east side residents with residents that could afford condos. People like me. So as somebody who is supposed to buy one of those condos because I'm a tech professional and I want to live downtown, it just felt so wrong. It feels wrong when there are 6,500 SROs that need replaced and 3,500 residents with no fixed addresses. And it feels wrong that we have a legacy system that is barely working, mainly because of underfunding. And instead of funding it, we are going to eliminate the existing structure and start anew, and it just makes no sense. So I'm going to stitch the video of my talk at the city hall. I called in to talk, so please watch that. And if you have any further desire to engage with this, the Carnegie Housing Project website is a great place to start. It's a very vibrant community with very awesome people and experts and academics that I've learned a lot from.
Sound check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. If you can please state your first and last name and whether or not you're a resident of Vancouver for the record, please.
Hi, my name is T. Zhang. I am a resident of Vancouver. I'm a software engineer and I'm a home buyer, and I have lived downtown and worked downtown for all of my career. I have downtown east side friends. As someone who values intellectual honesty and technical rigor, I approach all proposals with good faith, neutral stance, and curiosity. So I came into this not knowing whether I want to support or oppose. I make decisions after I gather data, and I base my decisions on the data I gather. This applies to work. This applies to my evaluation of the downtown Eastside zoning proposal as a civilian. I encourage the council to approach the vote with the same data-driven approach, with intellectual honesty, integrity, and technical rigor. The data I've gathered so far has concluded that I'm going to oppose this proposal, and this opposition comes from a data-driven place and a rational place. Many speakers at this hearing have made compelling speeches from sociological, anthropological, and civil engineering places. Thoughtful, multifaceted arguments that came from research, lived experiences, expertise. As somebody who is new to the subject matter, I had to approach it and comprehend it in a way that I understood as a software guy. In the software business, often we have legacy applications that contain years and years of code and infrastructure built and designed by people at various stages of burnout and exhaustion. This is the case at all sizes of companies, from serious ABC startups to 80K people enterprises. When a junior software engineer comes in, they will often want to suggest a rewrite because they think that is cleaner, is more effective. However, rewriting a legacy software system would mean making new mistakes. It never works. Delivering a piece of software also entails extensive research for the pain the software is supposed to address. In my analogy, this proposal is the piece of software proposed by the city, and the city is suggesting a rewrite of a legacy system that still works, but is struggling to work, with a set of new features that do not meet the requirements of the users. Cutting requirements for social housing from 60% to 20%, it does not sound viable for the city and the housing crisis that we are experiencing. So bulldozing, if we want to, I'm hearing speakers, in the software business, if a legacy system is struggling, we look to fix it first. We don't burn it to the ground. In this case, I'm hearing speakers from the downtown Eastside talk about their lived experiences and work expertise. I'm hearing broken elevators. I'm hearing organizations and NGOs that could be better funded. If we want to improve living conditions and life qualities of the downtown Eastside, we should invest in existing social and civil infrastructures and fund those organizations and pay the people that know how to do the work and give money directly to the residents because it's research proven. Bulldozing what is working and that just needs support to build a whole new thing that is less good, it makes no sense. I asked the city to please go back to the drawing board and gather requirements for the problem that we are trying to solve by speaking more with the community members, those that actually live there, and perhaps with health authorities, the Vancouver Coastal Health, the Ministry of Health even, maybe the Vancouver General Hospital. And it just seems like we have a software that is struggling with computing resources, but instead of throwing money at better computing resources, more CPUs, more RAMs, better graphic cards, we are just trying to blow everything up and build from scratch and veering into unknown territory and creating more mistakes. It makes absolutely no sense. And it does feel like the city is run by people who care about professional delivery. So that's what we'd like to see. So final note on this. In software, we have messaging queues. When a message is sent, often we want an acknowledgement. So between the speakers and the voting, is it okay for Mayor Sim to summarize the points that have been iterated by the community members and academics and experts during this hearing? We trust that the mayor has heard the public, the speakers are here to serve the data, and you are here to make decisions based on that data. It would be very confidence-inspiring to hear acknowledgement that this data has been received. And thank you very much for the hard work involved in all of this.
Thank you very much.
And I must say, the system is designed to do what the system does. So when the process of collecting public opinions is this extenuous, it started last week and it was paused for a few days and it reconvened today, and the whole thing, this is my third time speaking at the city hall. It's just designed so that speaking is hard, but everything worth doing is difficult, right? They can't stop you from speaking, and you should speak.